Protesters are gathering at Peace Arch Park to stand their opposition to the biofuel plant that is slated to be built on Semiahmoo First Nation reserve land. The protesters say the biofuel plant will hurt the environment, and they're worried about the pollution, smell, and the potential traffic. The Semiahmoo First Nation and Andion Global, a company that specializes in organics to renewable energy, are partnering up to build the proposed plant close to the border crossing, which is expected to be operating by 2025.
I just can't fathom why this would be considered as an appropriate location.
Jeffrey Rabiff has lived in the neighborhood for 24 years, and he says the pollution the plant will emit worries him because it is close to his home.
My biggest concern is just clean air and air quality, and we sleep with our windows open all year long, and always have.
Surrey City Councillor Linda Annis also on hand to voice her opposition to the project.
The pollution, the traffic, the noise, it's not acceptable close to a residential neighborhood.
Wildlife biologist David Hancock says the pollution from the biofuel plant will harm the local wildlife.
From my point of view of studying these things now for 70-something years, we've got 150 pairs, just over 150 pairs of bald eagles that feed in this area.
And I think it's absolutely critical that the Semiahmoo First Nations consults with the residents and the city.
It's borderline disrespectful what some of these protesters are saying.
First Nation Chief Harley Chappell says he and members of his community have spent the last 5 years looking into the environmental impacts the plant could have before the project was greenlit.
Our responsibility as Indigenous people is to protect our mother, to protect Mother Nature, and do everything we can. And as we've done our due diligence and as we've learned more and more about this project, and we've walked through the regulatory bodies, we've had assistance both from First Nations Health Authority, Metro Vancouver, Fraser Health.
Chappell says 30 families live on the reserve, including his own, where the facility will be built. He says he would never approve a project that could potentially harm members of his community. Rabiff says Andion Global has invited him to a public meeting to learn more about the project.
On November 9th, they've sent me an invitation. Sadly, it's a Zoom meeting. It is not an in-person meeting. So once again, I'm concerned about whether or not our questions will be answered.
The Semiahmoo First Nation expects the biofuel plant construction to begin early next year. In Surrey, Angela Bauer, City News.